Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is Okanda, my Canada Core island. Today is very exciting because I have worked on a lot of custom designs for this build because I tried to find ones that would fit and I just couldn't find anything. We are making a train station, but not just any train station. We are making a very specific train station, which is a Via Rail station. And if you're from Canada or you've been to Canada, that is the main train that is all across Canada via rail. You can go from one end of Canada to the next, and so I am really excited. I have created some custom designs and I've downloaded some custom designs, which will all be in the description below. But this is my Via Rail logo, and then I also have the train tracks, and then I have a train roof because I built the Via train in the Custom Designs Pro, so you will see that come together as well. I think it's going to be super cute. I'm really looking forward to it. This is right up from my neighborhood. I really don't want a villager hunt. I'm stuck on this day for so long. Anyways, if you come down from the neighborhood here, can see Aussie's empty plot, but never mind that for now. We are going to be building this right here. On the map, you can see where the train station will be right to the right of my marker there. And the train tracks will continue along quite a ways. I actually would like it if the train tracks went completely across my island from one side to the next, kind of representing the Trans-Canada Railway. That would be super cool. But you can also see my rough outline of my Rocky Mountains, and I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing that outline.
We're filling it in today and we're getting the base done on the Rocky Mountains. That's enough of that.
So we're going to start up construction here. I think I'm going to tackle just getting this Rocky Mountain area in place roughly. I probably will just whiz through that and show you the end of it just so that we have like some smooth edges here and I can get a better picture of what it's going to look like actually. So let's get started. Let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to get right into it, and the first thing that we need to do is clean up all of this experimental path and this marking path that I had made, and then right into filling in this cliff area. As I said, this is going to be for my Rocky Mountains, so I'll probably end up building up 2 layers of cliff. Right now, all of Okanda is on 1 level, and I just have a 2nd level in certain parts, so I've never actually built a 3rd level, so I'm excited. But that's out of the way. Now we are going to be doing the Via Rail train station. I'm just starting off with some simple panels that I knew that I wanted to use. In the entrance for this island, I created like a little apartment entrance using these door simple panels and kind of offsetting them from the front so that it looks like it's a little entryway. And I tried to do that on this train station, but you'll see it doesn't quite work out. So I do end up moving those front panels back so that they will line up with the door exactly, just so that the roof that I have in mind works out better. And here we go, we're starting with the roof. I'm just creating a little bit of terraforming so that I can get up there. My plan initially was quite elaborate, and I thought that I could use the solar panels to make like a slanted roof, and then I was thinking maybe I can put the kids' tent in the middle so that it's like there's this dimension to the roof, like it's got different levels, but they don't connect properly. Like the simple panels don't line up with the tent looked too low, all of this. And I actually ended up putting them facing forward like this, which I've seen other people do as well. And when I went down to check it out here in real time for a second, I saw that it actually lined up pretty well. There's that slight gap in the middle which was bothering me, so I was still spinning in circles thinking about what I was going to do for this. But especially when I pushed back the panels flush to the cliff, it lined up really nice and actually made it look like a proper roof.
A few moments later.
I'm still trying to make this tent thing work, but it's not gonna work.
A few moments later.
So I'm returning to my original plan. Well, not the original, but the plan B from the original, the one that I was talking about a few seconds ago. We are going to be pushing back everything to be flush, so it's a little bit flatter. It's not exactly what I wanted. I think I have to look up a little bit more reference of fake buildings, but I had it so stuck in my mind that I wanted to do solar panel roof that I just couldn't unsee solar panel roof, and I was committed to make it work. So these public benches are like the exact color, and how perfect is it? I just put it down and Claude had a seat. I was like, perfect, that's gonna stay there forever now. And I'm going back up to the roof because I've realized that I have a wind turbine in my pocket. So I love the way that this turned out. Originally I thought maybe it'll look good completely centered, but I went back up and ended up moving it so that it's off to the right side a little bit, and it looks so cute. I absolutely love it. I love having the wind turbines, but I can never seem to find a good place that it looks really like it fits. So it was really fun to be able to put a wind turbine into a build and to have it actually look like it's meant to be there and not just something that I threw on for fun. And just completing the sidewalk where I have ripped it up. So it's interesting working with this road pattern. I'm getting more comfortable with it, but I don't know, I struggled a little bit with the custom designs today because I think it's been a little while since I did a build on Okanda. I was loving it. I'm really excited to get back into more build videos. It's fun starting a new island, starting Papagayo, but the design part of this game is really what I love to do. It's really the fun part, especially when you get into custom designs. I've been having a lot of fun creating the custom designs, and it's really relaxing because it's a different kind of gameplay. It's just like you're drawing or being creative, and then at the end of it you get to make something like an actual build that's super fun. So I highly recommend it. I mean, I'm not a pro custom design person yet, but I mean, just starting with simple things like logos and simple colors of things that I wanted, I think it's been really cool. I mean, on the latest Papagayo Let's Play, I showed a little plank path, and I was so proud of that plank path when I made it. I was like, oh my gosh, but you know what? I think I spent like a few hours working on just that path, but it was just chill. It was just fun. I really enjoyed it. So I just whizzed by the building of the train track, pretty straightforward, and now we are placing down our first train standees. And I went back and forth a lot on exactly where I wanted this train to be situated because I wanted you to be able to take a photo where you could see the train station and the train at the same time. But it was a bit tricky because if I put the train where I have it now, which it doesn't stay there, but it covers up some of the train station, especially when I start to put in the actual bulk behind the standees, you can see. So I do go back and forth quite a bit on where that will exactly go, but you can see the bones of it coming together here, and I'm so proud of this train. Talking about spending a long time on custom designs, this was a couple of nights of just plugging away looking at references for trains. I think the main thing for the train was that I wanted the window to be centered around the whole of the standee, and that was so hard because the shapes just didn't work because the windows on the Via Rail train, I'll put in some screenshots of exactly what a Via Rail train looks like right here. So as you can see, they have a lot of windows on the passenger car, and it has that very distinctive blue and yellow with the gray. So that was what I was trying to kind of mimic there. And here I'm trying out my first roof design for these trains, and it's not exactly what I want it to be. I'm very upset about it. So I came back and I decided to try out putting servers behind the engine car, see if that would look a little bit better, because the engine car is a slightly different color from the passenger cars. The engine has more of a blue color and it's taller, and then the passenger cars have like more of a just silver kind of roof. So I left that for now as the servers, but I do end up going back and changing that slightly. And I think that I'm pretty happy with putting the 50-inch LCD televisions on top of the stalls so that it's just like a black background, so that when you look from certain angles. The windows are all filled in nicely. I'm trying to decide here whether I like the black stalls or the white stalls for the base, and I ended up going with the white just because it does look a little bit more like it blends in with the rest of the train car. And I did make another custom design, but in the light it looks just like white anyways, so I might just end up changing that out to a white, or changing out my boat, the boat build that I did on the East Coast, for this color of standee too. I'm not really sure, you can barely tell that it's any different from white. So here we have the train all built out, and I'm deciding that I don't like the position of it, so I have to move everything back. And I say, you know what, it's probably just faster to pick up everything versus shifting everything over, which can get a little bit tedious. So yeah, we are moving the train car all the way back, the engine car rather, all the way back here. And I think this is pretty close to its final position. I do end up adjusting it just slightly. And there I go, finally giving up on the servers, and I end up actually extending the train, the engine car, slightly so that it has 4 standees so that I can put 2 stalls behind it, because originally I wanted the train car, the engine car, to be a little bit shorter than the passenger ones. And I think that I'm done with this design several times, and then I end up going back in and adjusting it again because I realized, oh, I left that pixel undone. Oh, the 2 different little windows are different sizes here. So this is kind of how it goes with custom designs. You make it, then you put it out, and then you have to change it again. And I'm still not fully happy with the train design. Like, for example, the wheels are very simple, but you know what? I think it works, and I think it's effective for communicating that it's a train. And I do end up putting some fencing and different things in front of it, so the wheels are not really the main focus. I think the windows are more the focus of the train. So there it goes. I made a different stall design. So now I have like 3 different custom designs that are just like a solid color, which bothers me because we still only have 100 custom design slots. I can't believe I'm actually saying that, because at one point we only had 50, which just blows my mind. Like, you could only have 1 path on your island, which is insane. And here I'm noticing that I've put the snack machine over top of the road, so moving that slightly back, and the train is a little bit too close. I'm trying to walk around, trying to experiment with how much space I have, and realizing that I can actually move everything back a half a square so that the train is not so separated. I was leaving a full space between each of the train cars, but moving it back so that there's only a half space actually makes them look a lot more connected, like a real train, and it gives me more space to actually still have a solid pathway through to get to my house. And I am going with my standard road design. I'll save you me putting the in-game path down a little bit, but I did put the in-game path down underneath the entire road area, and then I'm just going in with the custom designs, and I don't end up actually cutting the road off at that point where I kind of cut it off on the left-hand side. I end up making like a little parking lot to that side. It turns out really cute once I actually nail down exactly the way that I want those custom designs to work. So yeah, here I go, extending out the custom designs and the in-game pathing so that I can create a little parking lot to this side. This area caused me a little bit of grief because I thought originally that I wanted to keep the curb in the parking lot, but I end up nixing that and just going with the road design for the parking lot area. And I think I end up actually marking it out so that it's only 2 parking spots, just because the third one doesn't really show well. So yeah, here we go. I'm clearing it off so that it's just the road design. And this is where I get genuinely confused about what I'm doing. I put down so many different paths and I don't know what is what for a second here. We get there. Look, we figure it out. When it's sped up to like 10 times real time, it looks like I'm very decisive. But in real time, I promise you, there's more struggle than it looks. Also, I do not end up leaving the crosswalk like that. It bothers me to no end that I even thought that that would work. It was there for a time. And this is the one instance where I don't mind the cars, the race car beds, is actually parked in parking lots. I did give it a fair shot, putting them on the actual roads, but it was kind of blocking my walking path, so I ended up getting rid of them. But it's nice to have them in parking lots scattered about. I've seen a lot of people who make these trains, the train tracks, they use these little vaulting poles as the, what are those things called? Like the things that close when you go through a intersection where a train is crossing over the road. Oh my goodness, I cannot remember what they're called. However, I thought that they just were too small. They kind of, I think that they would work more if you were doing like a single tile railroad track with like the little vintage tin, what are they called? Throwback containers. Those ones. If you were doing a single path with the throwback containers, then it would look good to have those vaulting poles. But for me, it just wasn't working with my full-size train to have these tiny little gates to close. So I end up switching them up for utility poles in just a second here. But we're just adding some little details in the neighborhood around the train station, which just adds a little bit more detail. And I'm finally correcting where that little crosswalk is going so that it looks a little bit more purposeful. I think it turned out really nice. I do go a little bit utility pole crazy, and I put one back here too, but don't worry, I notice it in the final walkthrough and we remove that and it looks great. You know how it goes on Okanda. When I start to throw down leaf piles and bug models, we're getting pretty close to the end here. So it's just those finishing details. I love the rover's briefcase at a train station or a bus station. I mean, I think it's just like mandatory at this point. So I'm adding in all of that, all those little extra details. I think a couple of times during this build there was like balloons flying overhead, but my slingshot broke like right before I filmed this, so there was a lot of moments, and if you've seen any balloons flying overhead, that's really funny that I said balloons just as I put down a balloon. I promise I did not actually plan that. So we're starting to add in, yes, the Okanda final touches, all the little mushrooms and acorns and little maple leaves everywhere. So I will just leave you to some beautiful royalty-free music, and I will catch you at the end with my final thoughts and kind of giving you a little bit of a walk through the area. look at what we've made today. Look at this. This is our Via Rail train station. I love how slowly that turbine is moving today. That's so pretty. I just love the detail of that on top of the roof. And a lot of custom designs today, so they will of course all be linked down below for you, whatever you need. I left this portion open as kind of the crosswalk. It's a little unnerving to walk in front of the train here, but I think it works because you're coming up from this incline. Also, I love this view. You know what? We're gonna remove this utility pole. This is too much. Okay, that was it. That was what was bothering me. Good. Okay. Yes. See? So yeah, I made a little crosswalk here. I think it's good. We're gonna see how much it'll be cut off when we do get a villager into this plot right here. And I just love how it comes down and then you start to see the train and you can walk along the train tracks. And I kind of like that it's a little bit covered by the houses, and this is going to be just a road that you can walk on for like a clearing so that you can get from one side of the island to the next. So that is going to do it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my train station build. It got a lot bigger than I was intending it to be, so thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If you did stick around to the end, let me know what you thought. Give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And subscribe if you're not already, because I'm planning a lot of exciting things for the channel that you don't want to miss. And I would love to have you here. I'm sure we all would. So thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!